On the map screen, you will notice the measure button will display the type of solution that the receiver is operating in. Just above the measure button is the satellite button. This button shows you the number of satellites being used to calculate the solution. If you click on this button, it brings up a satellite plot. This will give you a rough idea as to where the satellites are in the sky. You may notice some satellites which are colored in white. This indicates that they are below the level of elevation specified in the tolerance settings, or there is an issue with the satellite itself, and it is not being used to calculate a solution. At the bottom of the screen is a button labeled Disable GLONASS. If you would prefer that your receiver not track GLONASS satellites, selecting this button will configure the receiver to ignore GLONASS signals. Selecting the View List button will bring up an itemized list of satellites, including their PRN identifying number, their system type, whether it be GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, or SBAS, as well as their azimuth, elevation, and signal-to-noise ratio. Pressing Close will bring you back to the Map View screen. Above the Satellite button is the DOP button. Pressing this button will cycle between PDOP, Horizontal DOP or HDOP, and Vertical DOP or VDOP. Above the DOP button is the Cursor button. Pressing this button will center the screen on your current location. Double-clicking the button will lock the screen onto your current location so that as you move, the screen moves with you. The button to the right of the Cursor button is the Settings button. Pressing this button will take you to the Instrument Settings screen. This screen offers you many options for configuring your rover's settings. The Sensor Configure button allows you to change the tolerance settings as well as your active tolerance, antenna height, and auto recording settings if they have changed from the time that you set up the instrument profile. The Sensor Information button tells you information about your sensor model, the serial number, the navigation version, the Bluetooth version, your battery condition, GPS license options, and others. The Link Configure button allows you to change your link device and disconnect it should you want to. The Link Information button tells you your data format, your data count, which is the number of data packages NavCom FieldGenius has received, the data age, which is how long it's been since NavCom FieldGenius has received its last data package, the link status, and a reference identification number. The Position Information button displays detailed information about your current position, such as geodetic position, measured antenna height, baseline length, Cartesian position, coordinate systems, solution type, standard deviation, PDOP, number of satellites, and UTC date and time. The Antenna Height button allows you to adjust your antenna height if it has changed since you set up your rover profile. Your other antenna settings, such as offset, will remain as it was configured in the rover profile. The Raw Data Logging button takes you to the GPS Raw Data Logging screen, where you can tell NavCom FieldGenius to either start or stop logging data. The Starfire buttons will be covered in depth in the Starfire rover setup video. The Commands Console button allows you to input commands to NavCom FieldGenius for the purpose of troubleshooting. Selecting Run Script allows you to import a list of pre-programmed commands into the unit. The Tolerance button allows you to change your sensor's active tolerance from one of the 3 predefined tolerance modes you selected earlier. There is also an Instrument Disconnect button, which will disconnect you from your rover. Press Cancel to go back to the map view. At the top of the screen is the Globe button. Pressing this button will show your current longitude, latitude, and ellipsoidal height. Pressing the Page button will switch to northing, easting, and geoidal height readings. Pressing the Page button again will show standard deviation, horizontal, and vertical coordinates, as well as your PDOP number. Pressing the Page button again will bring up the speed over ground, course over ground, and time readings. Pressing the Globe button again will close the information window. To the right of the Globe button are 5 zoom buttons. There is the Zoom to Extents button, which automatically zooms wide enough to fit all your points onto the screen. Then there's the zoom plus and minus button, which will zoom in if you slide your cursor up and zoom out if you slide your cursor down. Next is the zoom box button, which allows you to draw a box around an area on the map view, and it will automatically zoom to that area. Then there's the pan button, which allows you to move around the map view while staying at the same zoom level by sliding your cursor around the screen. Finally, there's a zoom undo button, which will take you back to your previous zoom setting. At the bottom of the screen is the main menu button, which is shaped like a plumb bob. Pressing this button will take you to the main menu for your project. Here the user can access the project manager, the settings menu, survey methods, survey tools, calculations, the staking menu, the roads manager, the data manager, the file import-export menu, and the about file for your version of NavCom Field Genius. Many of these functions will be covered in detail in separate videos. Select Map View to return to the Map View screen, or select Exit to quit NavCom Field Genius. Below the main menu button is a down arrow. Pressing this button will hide the main menu button as well as the buttons for line work. You will now see 3 buttons at the bottom of the screen: Main Menu, Controls, and Instrument. Pressing the Menu button takes you back to your project's main menu. Pressing the Controls button hides the zoom controls at the top of the screen. Pressing the Instrument button will hide the Instrument Settings button on the right side of the screen. Hiding these buttons will allow you to have a slightly larger view of the project map. The remaining buttons on the screen are primarily used for line work, and will be discussed further in the line work video.